Good evening, everyone. This is the City of Dania Beach regular CRA meeting on April the 14th. It is 6:01 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. City Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Chair Davis.
Here.
Vice Chair Salvino.
Here.
Board Member Llewellyn.
Here.
Board Member Romoli.
Here.
Board Member Ryan.
Here.
City Attorney Boutsis.
Here.
Executive Director Candido Sosa Cruz.
Here.
Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much, City Clerk. And at this time, we're going to see if we have any citizens' comments. Seeing none, we will move on to item 3, administrative reports from our Executive Director, Candido Sosa Cruz.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, board members, City Attorney, City Clerk, CRA team, and residents at home. My name's Candido Sosa Cruz. I'm the Executive Director of the Community Redevelopment Agency. And I'm excited tonight to present to you some of the CRA initiatives that are underway. I want to reiterate what I've said at the last meeting, that we have an incredible team, starting with Emily Adams, our administrative assistant, and Javaka Young-Smith, our redevelopment real estate manager. They're definitely working very hard every day, doing more than ever. For the last 7 years that I've been here, I could tell you that this CRA team is really producing, is really bringing ideas to the table, and it's really out there meeting businesses, residents, and doing the best for the City of Dania Beach CRA. One of the CRA initiatives that Jovanka has presented to the CRA, which I think is an incredible idea, is developing a beautification project, an initiative that would introduce planters, flowers, and greenery along the sidewalks of the major corridor here on Federal Highway. We want to start with a pilot program to bring more color, more vibrancy to the corridor while enhancing the overall look and the feel of the area. We believe putting these large, oversized planters with plants along in front of the businesses and very bright will call attention while people drive by. So we're going to start with the pilot program, probably select a few areas, see what kind of response, feedback we get from the board, from the businesses, and if it's something we want to continue to invest on, we would do it throughout the whole corridor. We thought that was a good idea. Again, since cars are driving so fast, some of the stores don't look the best. Maybe if we add a little color, a little pop to it, people will want to say, hey, something different is going on. They might want to stop and explore. We've also developed and produced this CRA merchant newsletter. As I don't know if the board remembers, Jovanka loves to write. She contributes to Dania Press, and she created an 8.1 in the manual, this what's called the CRA Merchant Newsletter. It states Dania Beach Downtowner. It talks about how to improve your storefront window. It talks about the zone you're in. It talks about the foreign trade zone. It mentions the Broward County Office of Economic and Small Business Development Grant. It promotes the Dania After Dark. It also shows how to promote your business. For example, on April 29th, the CRA will be participating at the Jumbo Expo here. So it encourages businesses to join these events, to promote their businesses, to get out there, to try to bring in more business for them, and at the same time, more business to our corridor. Also, the CRA has been working with the Planning and Zoning Division to explore ways to better support small businesses with their storefront signage. We're working toward a more streamlined process that makes it easier for businesses to enhance their visibility while maintaining a polished, professional look. What does that mean? That means we're looking for a more simplified way for businesses to get a sign permit, more different ways to get different types of signage, so the traffic vehicles traveling up and down Federal and Dania Beach Boulevard are able to see the businesses. Some of the feedback we've been getting is, hey, it's a little complicated to try to get a sign. We're working with our zoning department to simplify it, everything, make it more streamlined and allow additional signage on their storefront. We've also revamped our facade grant program, our flyer. Again, it's under 8.1. As you remember, we have this facade grant program that matches dollar for dollar up to $25,000 for anything on the exterior of your storefront. For example, exterior painting repair, landscaping, parking lot improvement, impact windows, signage, and awnings. Unfortunately, we have not had too many businesses come to us over this facade grant. So next year, we're going to be exploring new ways, possibly new programs that might be a little bit more feasible for store owners to take advantage of, because the store businesses want to participate. They just right now don't want to invest so much that's into impact windows or signage. So we're looking at other options, seeing what other cities are doing to try to create a program that really benefits the small businesses in our CRA. Later today, I'll be presenting, I'll be doing a presentation on the CRA-owned properties, so I'll skip that. Rebuilding Together continues to work hard for our residents under the home beautification program. Remember, this is the one that we renewed, meaning we have a new contract. They've already completed 2 homes, and they already have 8 lined up to do. Under the Safe at Home, they've completed 41 homes. Our goal by the end of September 30th is to do 50 homes, and they have already 3 in process. The Patch continues to expand its network, continues to expand its relationships. We've had this last month 45 new visitors. 42 of those visitors are volunteers. We've had 50 students from C.W. Thomas, and we continue to produce with the crop harvest of 350 pounds, which includes tomatoes, strawberries, zucchini, eggplant, sage, dill, parsley, coconut. We've also partnered, any of the unsold produce, again, was donated to the seniors at the Saratoga Crossing, which is the next door development. They're very grateful for the Patch, very grateful for these donations that we do every month. Also, the social seniors from PJ Milley visited the Patch. I've included photos on there. It's the first time they come visit the Patch. They were very happy, very enthusiastic. They want to keep coming every month, so that's definitely a positive. Some of the upcoming events at the Patch, on April 18th, we're going to have Shop with Your Grower Farmers Market. On April 25th, we're going to have Earth Day Workshop. And the Patch will also be participating at the Arbor Day Tree Giveaway, which will be Thursday, April 23rd from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And this is a city event that the CRA participates and collaborates with, and we'll be having at the same location we've had it the last several years, which is Frost Park on Fronton Boulevard side. The Patch continues to work with Volunteering Hands-On Broward, which is an organization that different companies could volunteer through, and the Patch is on there. This past month, we've had Oracle Software Corporation, their Fort Lauderdale office, participate on March 20th, and we've also had the Nova Southeastern College of Osteopathic Medicine participate on March 21st. Some future events that we'll be participating will be the United Way Broward's Mayor Gala. That's going to be Saturday, April 25th. Also, the Jumbo Networker and Business Expo, which I mentioned earlier. That's going to be Wednesday, April 29th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Dakota Design Center. And then also we're having the Hamburger House Party, in which the CRA is participating by providing them support and marketing. We did receive some complimentary tickets that I sent that email out. Each one of you will have 1 ticket plus 1. You're able to bring a guest. The only restriction is the guest has to be 21 years of age or older. I believe they're going to have alcohol at the event. That's why they require this. And then also Port Everglades Association. That event will be Friday, June 5th at 11 a.m. An event that the CRA supported this past Sunday, April 12th, was the Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week magazine influencers brunch, in which we held it at the IT Parker. I believe several of you attended, as well as our redevelopment manager. It was a great event. It brought in different people from outside the city into our city, and it showcased our beautiful IT Parker Center. That concludes my administrative report, Chair. If there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Executive Director Sosa Cruz. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, but thank you for that in-depth report. And we will move on to item 5, consent agenda. Are there any items that the board wishes to pull from the consent agenda? Oh, am I missing? Did I skip?
The presentation.
Oh, okay, yes, I did skip. Item 4.1, CRA, properties discussion and overview.
Yes.
Are you presenting that as well?
I'll be presenting it from here, Chair.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you,
Okay,
Ralph.
thank you.
I'm making this presentation because there's been some questions on, from several board members on what's going on with our CRA properties. Are we going to sell them? Are we going to build on them? What exactly are we going to do moving forward? So I wanted to first present to the board all the properties that the CRA owns, and then to have a discussion on how to move forward. Next slide, Ralph, please. This list here is the complete list of properties that the CRA owns. Tonight, I'm not going to be discussing the properties starting with Northwest 14th Way all the way to 56 Northwest 8th Avenue. These are single lots scattered throughout the CRA region. They're not together with any of the other properties, so I'm going to leave those properties for a future date. What I will be discussing is the 2 clusters underneath. The first cluster is what we call the Southwest 12th Avenue cluster, which is those 3 properties. And the second cluster is the Pippin Waiters Road cluster. Next slide, please. The first cluster is the Southwest 12th Avenue cluster. Historically, these properties have been called the Smith Store properties. These properties were purchased by the CRA, and one of the key components on the property is there's a covenant on it that only allows single-family homes to be built on these 3 lots. Now, that restriction, we believe, have limited the number of interested parties in purchasing or in developing on these properties. The lots are very small. As you can see on the bottom, they're either 5,000 square feet to 5,700 square feet. And where they're located, they haven't been marketable, or parties haven't been interested, we believe, due to this restriction. So what we would like to do, as you could see, it's zoned neighborhood residential, which allows single family, duplex, or multifamily, or you could even do townhomes. But the restriction on the covenant only allows 3 single family home, 1 each per lot. And at the end, I'll provide some options, which basically will be to bring back a resolution to remove that covenant. Now, in order to do that, there is another restriction which requires a unanimous vote by the board, meaning all 5 of you have to agree to bring this item to remove the covenant. If it's a 4-1, it fails. It has to be 5-0 according to the way that covenant was written and approved by the board. Eve, you want to expand on that?
I think you've explained it really well. I mean, unless you have any questions, it was passed way before any of us were here on the dais, and it's a unanimous vote is required to remove the covenant.
Hold on. Board Member Ramoli.
Thank you. Was there any history backup information as to why it was so restricted to single family? I have an idea, but I'd like to kind of confirm why. Is there any history or backup or information that
I did
discusses
research, but the minutes do not reflect it. The resolution doesn't give it a reason, and the covenant does not address it. So I'm sorry, I do not know the answer to that.
Because I honestly, and I came to a lot of CRA and city meetings from 2002 on up, and I don't ever remember that coming up, but obviously I could have missed that meeting. It seems awfully restrictive. So I would be interested to hear if there's any kind of history or backup that shows why.
Thank you, Board Member. remotely. Vice Chair?
Yes, if I'm remembering correctly, that the year that was changed over was probably about 2016, 2017. Okay, and I believe that what happened over there is that the store was a problem store, and it was constantly with it was a high crime area, and I believe at that time what happened was the city came to an agreement with the Smith family store. I think it was somewhere in the $500,000 area, if I remember correctly, and that they decided that we would buy that property from them to eliminate they couldn't fix it by the crime situation because it was a constant. They had somebody there all the time, so they just bought it and they tore it down. And when they tore it down, the agreement was when we tore it down, we were not going to turn it into, an opportunity for someone to come over there, I guess, and build another store because they didn't want to bring another store back in there because the situation would not change. So they turned it into residential property at that time to improve the area by putting homes on it instead of putting another retail store. And I was on the board at that time, and I'm pretty sure that's how it went down.
It was 2018, and it was June 26, 2018, and the only whereas clause says we'd like to encourage more single-family homes.
Okay, well, I gave you the thing because I was on the board at that time, and my memory's still fairly well. I'm not that old yet.
Thank you, Vice Chair. So, with removal of this covenant, we would just have more options of what we're able to do with that property. It wouldn't be restricted just to single-family
Correct.
homes.
It would allow us to do what the zoning allows, which would be single-family, duplex, or multifamily.
But I know, and previously we had talked about home ownership as a goal. So would we we have that discussion about what we would want to do with that property before we remove the covenant or
Afterwards.
after?
Once you remove the restriction, then we could talk about what does the board want to see from it. And then I'll talk about that towards my last slide, which will be next steps.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. I'm still lit up.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Vice Chair.
I think that I think you were right on one aspect. And I think you're on the right direction with the other one, is that they were trying to do single family. No one has showed interest in the single family, but so home ownership may not be the answer because it's been sitting vacant since that time. But multifamily may be the opportunity because you put a duplex in there, they can use it for rental and offer an opportunity for someone to rent that can't afford to buy. So that's we talked about that as well, but at the time it was pretty insistent on single family for the purpose what the chair was talking about as far as trying to get the home ownership. But obviously we've seen that it doesn't work. So something to think about when he brings it back to what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Board Member Ryan.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, this cluster of properties is on J.A. Ely Boulevard, so it's a mix of commercial and residential. So I don't see a major issue with removing the covenant, but are we removing the covenant in order to sell the property, to make it marketable?
We're not at that step yet.
Okay.
And that would be a discussion we would have as a board, and whatever direction the board wants we would pursue.
Okay, yeah, it's good to have that discussion. We could have it now. Obviously, it's been sitting there for 8 years now, and we've never had any buyers. Have we ever marketed it for sale? Yeah.
The previous director attempted to market it, to sell it, spoke to developers, and there was no movement on it.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it was to sell it. I don't know if it was to receive proposals with options. That part, I don't have the details, but I do know there was an effort. I know Eve was involved with them to try to market the properties, but due to the restriction, they weren't interested in it.
When it comes to removing the covenant, I don't have a major problem with it, but the fact that we own this property and considering where it is, it's across from Addicks Middle School. It's kind of like a neighborhood-friendly area, and I would want to discuss the consideration of possibly a pocket park with the CRA. That might be might be an option because we're expanding our green space as well and enhancing programming and, you know, making something look nice. It's just a vacant lot. But I'm open for whatever option instead of it just sitting there as a vacant lot. But we have to make the right decision as a board.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Ryan. Board Member Llewellyn.
Yes, and I recall the restrictive covenant was not just about the types of homes, wasn't it also about the people that would be living there? I think there was something about wanting first responders or school teachers or somebody like that in the restrictive.
I've heard that discussion, but it wasn't part of the resolution.
Yeah, I remember something about that. But I mean, if we remove the restrictive covenant, we could actually just see what all the options are. And I actually think it would be a really good idea to put it out there and kind of see what kind of interest we would get. And then we can have that discussion afterwards as to which direction we really want to go. But I have no issue with removing it either. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Hold on. Executive Director, Board Member Romoli.
Thank you, Chair. Just one more question. If the covenant is removed, we still have a decision or can make a decision on what we place there. In other words, if it goes out for a bid and someone's interested and they tell us they want to build a 5-story, we can say no.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we own it. Okay, perfect.
It would probably be unreasonable to think that they could do 5 stories with
Well,
the
I made
15,000
figure
square
speech,
feet.
but something that
Yeah.
we're not happy with.
Yes.
Because I think that's what I thought the reason for the single-family home was, because, you know, townhomes can be ownership, and we can get more of them than just single-family homes. So,
Even multifamily could be turned into a condo.
Correct.
So all of that could be home ownership, but for whatever reason, it was dedicated to single family.
yeah, but that's what I would be in favor of, is removing the covenant, but pursuing home ownership in a way where it's an affordable home ownership and not something overpriced. And that's what I would be in favor of doing.
And I think that conversation just needs to be had, like, you know, have it once, but I think we provide the direction on what we want to see, and then what comes back will
Perfect.
be according or alignment with our vision. So,
Awesome. Perfect.
thank you, Executive Director.
Thank you, Chair. And the next cluster of homes is the Pippin Waiter Road Cluster. These lots don't have any restrictions on them. The only limitation is they're very narrow. As you can see from the square footage underneath, each one of them, it's right under 2,000 square feet. They're 25 feet wide and 80 feet deep. But again, I believe, the CRA believes, that if we market both clusters together, we will get more attention, and developer might want to purchase both, or might want to work with both, or at least might bring more eyes to them. So the next slide, please, Ralph. So the next steps is to bring back a formal resolution removing the covenant on the Southwest 12th Avenue cluster, which is the Smith Store properties. And then, depending on the direction the board wants to take, we could do a letter of interest to solicit qualified developers and market the properties competitively. The CRA will also research options to present to the board to see what direction they want to do. One of the ideas was possibly working with a developer that might contribute a down payment towards the ownership of a home, if we could give them a good deal on the land itself. So just different options that we will bring up options, and depending which way you want to go, and even if you want to do like a board member Ryan said, a pocket park, if that's the direction, that's how we would market it. And that's it. I would need a consensus from all 5 of you to come back with the resolution to remove the covenant. Do I have consensus?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, board. That concludes the presentation.
All right, so now we will move on to item 5, the consent agenda. Are there any items the board wishes to pull from the consent agenda, or do I have a motion? Go ahead, your light is on.
Motion, we pass the consent agenda.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the consent agenda passes unanimously. Item 6, proposals and bids. There are none. Item 7, discussion and possible action. There are none, and I think we went over all the information items, or is there anything else that you wanted to go over?
No, I went over all of them unless you have any questions. Just for the public, on Thursday, April 23rd, it's going to be at the Dania Beach Arbor Day tree giveaway at Frost, next to Frost Park on Fronton Boulevard from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We will be giving away a oak tree or a crepe myrtle, 1 tree per household.
Thank you very much. And so with that, we will move on to our board member comments. And we will start with board member Llewellyn.
Don't really have any comments. I do have a quick question for our director, executive director. We are going to be speaking about the other properties within the CRA as well at some point?
Yes. Excuse me. Yes. I would rather work with the clusters first.
Yes.
And then once that gets out there, definitely bring back the single lots and market those as well.
Absolutely.
See how the first one works out, see what we learn from it. And then for the next phase, like do it in 2 phases, then we'll market the other.
Well, and the other properties are going to be a different.
Scattered throughout the whole
completely
CRA.
different. Yeah, and they're smaller and they're not buildable and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that was going to come back around.
No,
and
absolutely.
address them. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. I'll defer till commission meeting.
Thank you, board member Llewellyn. Board member Ramoli.
No comments.
Thank you, board member Ramoli. Board member Ryan.
No comments, Chair. Thank you.
Well, I have a oh, no, not yet. Vice Chair.
I have a lot of comments. So, Chair, you'll have to wait a few minutes, okay?
I know that's
Okay.
not true.
No comment. Make
Thank
your short,
you,
please.
Vice Chair. I really only have one. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Chair. I forgot to mention that we did, the CRA placed the annual report.
That's my comment.
Oh, go ahead.
So no, we can't. That was my comment, and I brought it here. So we do have the 2025 annual report, and Executive Director Sosa Cruz did a outstanding, phenomenal job on this annual report. And I did want to say this is what excellence looks like. It is absolutely amazing. It has everything that anybody would want to see. It's not just CRA, but citywide. So I encourage you. I used it for my preparation for my panel with the coastal mayors at the Tower Club with City of Pompano, City of Hollywood, and the City of Fort Lauderdale. So this has a lot of information that businesses and people who are interested in business would want to see. So that was my comment, but you can say something else on that.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to the CRA. That was a big contribution from everyone, from our marketing communications team. Nanette, Natalie, Javaka, Emily Adams, everyone definitely contributed to it. So I want to say thank you to everyone.
Yes, thank you. And it was excellent. And with that, meeting adjourned.